10 years ago on this day, the Bever brothers murdered nearly their entire family in their South Broken Arrow home. After finding the teens hiding in the woods, it was now the job of Detective Eric Bentz to come face to face with the teens to find out why. Interrogations, Bentz tells me, even 10 years later, had him sitting in the room with some of the most evil people his city has ever known. The first time then 16-year-old Michael Bever ever ate at a Chick-fil-A was the morning after he and his brother slaughtered their family.
So we ended up stopping at Chick-fil-A. It's kind of a long story, but he basically had never had fast food. He had McDonald's one time because I asked him where he wanted to eat. He said he didn't know.
Coming back from the hospital, being treated for various wounds associated with his crimes, and a bite from the police dog who found him, Detective Eric Bentz was driving Michael to Broken Arrow Police Headquarters when they made a pit stop for breakfast.
And I said, well, let's go to Chick-fil-A. It's right here. Never had been to Chick-fil-A. Didn't know what to get. Just said he was going to order what I had, so we got him a burrito. And I'm just thinking to myself as I'm getting ready to talk to him, that's the first and last time he's ever going to have Chick-fil-A. Because if I do my job well and everybody else does, he's going to prison forever.
Bentz initially went to the crime scene on the morning of July 22, 2015, to help with the investigation, but he was quickly told it was his job to figure out why a majority of the Bever family didn't survive the night, a diversion Bentz says he's thankful for because he was able to get a better confession. He was going into the interview free from the emotions of seeing firsthand what played out inside 709 Magnolia Court.
I know from my previous experience talking to people that I was going to have to portray that I liked him, that I was friends with him, that he could trust me, and that we could get along. Also, I could get all the facts that I needed out of him.
Instead of staying on scene, Bentz first had to pick up Michael Bever from the city jail, take him to the hospital for wounds that were still bleeding, and then they picked up breakfast. A car ride, Bentz says, built up the rapport needed to find out why the two teens, who in a way still had the faces of children, carried out the worst murders in Broken Arrow history. And with two brothers eventually came two different attitudes and two different perspectives on the night.
So did you have it up ready to go and then it just kind of didn't go as planned?
Yeah, no, nothing as planned.
With Robert, every detail came out easy.
It's the most insane interview I've ever done with anybody.
It wasn't an interrogation to him. It was his first victory lap.
Robert was happy and bragging and enjoying the interview with me. He laughed multiple times, giggled to himself multiple times during the interview.
Fox 23 is told Robert's interview video has been sealed to keep it from circulating online and giving him the fame he still desires behind prison bars.
Robert is the most evil person I've ever talked to in my entire life, and I've talked to a lot of bad people. He's the most evil person I've ever seen and sat next to and talked to. He was, I want to say, 10 times more evil than Michael.
With younger brother Michael, it wasn't as easy. He initially pinned everything on his older brother.
I don't want to do it. I didn't justify, I didn't kill anyone.
Okay.
I stabbed someone.
Bentz says for minutes, Michael refused to acknowledge what happened, and he believes the younger brother couldn't compute what he just did.
Even though he wasn't like super upset and emotional, I feel like he was kind of traumatized from what he had done, and it was slowly starting to set in as I was talking to him. And he was trying to downplay his involvement in the actual killings itself.
Because even though they strategically planned out the murders, Bentz says they didn't realize it would be harder than in video games, movies, and TV shows. A realization that caused the plan to fall apart almost as soon as it started.
When they went to kill Crystal, the very first victim that was cut or stabbed, that was when reality hit. It wasn't as easy to kill someone like it is in the movies or video games. They didn't have that sense of reality yet, that there was going to be a lot of blood, a lot of screaming, and a lot of fighting, and how exhausting all that would be.
Finally, after a lot of small talk and deflecting, everything onto Robert, it was time to get down to business with the younger brother. Was there a moment where it's like, you killed somebody, Michael?
Yes.
What was?
I had to actually confront him on that with his mother, so we kind of went through the whole story, and then we get done, and I'm like, it sounds like you're just walking around with Robert. You didn't even do anything, did you? And I think I specifically asked him, who did you kill? And he wouldn't answer the question, so I just went back down the row in order of who they killed. And I'm like, okay, Mom, you stabbed her how many times? Where did you stab her? And I'm like, okay, so you killed her, right? And then he finally agreed. You know, once I pinned it all down that you stabbed her many, many times and you stabbed her in the throat and neck, she obviously died from what you did. And that's how far I had to go with Michael every time on every person that was stabbed.
Bentz would interview both brothers twice, the second time after finally seeing the crime scene himself to make sure he had an answer to every question.
Daniel is just as much of a warrior, and of course he's dead now, but what he did is just as grand as Crystal's acts that night. Daniel ran past his mother being stabbed to death to get the phone.
In the end, while it was a tragic night for the family, Broken Arrow police believe little brother Daniel, who would die while calling 911, and 13-year-old sister Crystal, whose blood on the front porch would signal to police danger was inside the home, both saved lives.
Who else were you going to kill? Just whoever you ran into?
Yeah, pretty much he said 5 at a time, like gas stations, restaurants.
Had police not entered the house or even known anything was wrong, the brothers would have sought to kill more. A plan that could have led to innocent people in Washington state being randomly picked off in a mass shooting plot that the brothers hope would have landed them in the history books.
The killing of their entire family is shocking enough, but then when they go into detail further that they wanted to become, like they wanted a high body count.
The brothers killed their family specifically on July 22nd because a big box of ammunition for the shooting was set to be delivered to the house on July 23rd. A delivery which would reveal to the rest of the family something sinister was in the works. It was revealed in court that the brothers' parents were aware their children were buying body armor and knives, but they initially wrote it off as boys being boys and had no idea about the guns and ammo purchases in progress. Even 10 years later, Bentz says, a lot of people ask, after being face-to-face with two of his city's youngest and worst killers, why did this happen? In answer, he still struggles to fully understand himself.
You know, the average citizen wants to know why, because you just want to try to believe that true evil like this doesn't exist. And that's what I've come to believe myself, and I can't find any other reason than these guys were just true evil. There wasn't severe abuse in the home. You know, they weren't part of some cult or weird religious group, fanatical group or anything. And I looked them both in the eyes at this close, and I saw pure evil in them. That's what it was. That's the explanation. How that happens, I don't know. How these two brothers became what they were, I don't know. But there's something inside them that's just pure evil, and so I'm glad that they will never see the light of day again, never see freedom again, because they would do this again.
Even if the brothers had gotten away with hiding what they'd done to their family, we now know that part of their plan was going to fall apart when it came to the mass shooting.
This is the one they ordered.
23 spoke with Pat Johnson, the owner of Broken Arrow's gun shop, back in February 2016. Even though Robert ordered the weapons online, the ones he ordered by law had to be picked up through a dealer. And Pat says Robert lied on his application for a Glock when he said he was 21. He was really 18. And he would have only been able to walk out with a single shotgun he ordered because the ID he was going to use showed he was underage.
He seemed real nice on the phone, real polite and soft-spoken.
In the end, Johnson says he's thankful he never came face-to-face with the brothers and says their plan for a mass shooting wasn't centered in reality.